Hi guys, how are you doing today? Hope you are having a sunny day. Ready for some new drama from Askalawyer? Let's go to the first one. About OP's ex's fiance, who contacted OP to complain about OP's ex's mother. Listen to the story, guys, to find out what she was complaining about, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Before this morning, I've never had an issue with my ex-future mother-in-law or current future mother-in-law, so this is all very foreign to me. My ex-future mother-in-law has gone completely nutso, and I could use some advice. For some background, my ex-fiance and I were together for about 4 years. His family, especially his mother and sister, and I were quite close. We frequently met up for lunch or wine, and they helped my ex beautifully execute his proposal. Unfortunately, my ex had his demons and cheated on me with one of my acquaintances. I was devastated and totally broken, and although I loved his family dearly, I decided it would be best to completely cut ties. They are all blocked on social media, and I've not spoken to any of them in 3-ish years. It took a lot of time and therapy, but I'm doing a lot better now. After the split, I shifted all of my focus towards growing my career and became quite successful. I also met an amazing man, and we are planning on getting married in the next few years. I guess my ex recently got engaged. Good for him. Don't care. This morning I received a Facebook message from my ex's fiance explaining how my ex-future mother-in-law has been openly comparing me to her and making this woman feel like crap. It's long and wordy, with lots of personal and revealing details, so I'm going to summarize it into points. Ex-future mother-in-law has been discussing details of my career achievements. She must be stalking my LinkedIn, and will say things like, "Future daughter-in-law, you should consider a career like my ex-daughter-in-law. She is so successful, and you're never going to make much money as a secretary." Future daughter-in-law notes here that she's actually a registered nurse, by the way. Mother-in-law has said at least 3 times, "I had wine, lunch, coffee with ex-daughter-in-law yesterday. She is so amazing. It's a shame her and my baby didn't work out." This is an absolute crazy freaking bat crap insane person lie. We have not spoken or seen each other in 3 years. She must be absolutely delusional. My ex's fiance is 4 years younger than I am, and ex-future mother-in-law loves to bring that up, and sometimes refers to her as little girl. Mother-in-law has brought up a few times that I still wear the bracelet she bought me for my 22nd birthday, and it's so touching that I wear her around with me. Okay, this is true. I wear that bracelet almost every day. It's a beautiful David Yurman bracelet with my birthstone, and I honestly do not associate it with my ex or ex-mother-in-law at all. It has no sentimental value. I just like the bracelet, and I'll probably continue to wear it every day. However, how in the duck does ex-future mother-in-law know that I wear the bracelet every day? And finally, last and certainly the most psychotic, ex-daughter-in-law has expressed that she still loves my baby. I do think they will get back together one day, so don't get your hopes up, little girl. Ex's fiancé closed it off by saying that she was confident none of the above was true, but she still thought I should know. Guys, what the duck do I do here? Should I message this woman back? Do I say something to my ex or his mother? I honestly haven't thought about any of them in a long time, but this is bringing back some awful feelings, and I'm seriously freaked out right now. Any advice would be appreciated. I would write back, but with full expectation that ex-mother-in-law will see whatever OP writes. Not saying this woman will do that, but OP should be prepared for it. So OP should not write anything OP wouldn't want ex or his mother to read. Then I'd tell her the truth about ex-mother-in-law's claims, and maybe the reason OP and ex split. And honestly, OP's cheating ex can't be worth putting up with his a-hole mama. This girl should run fast and run far. And now let's hear the community's opinion. I need a user named O says, "She reached out to you because she's hurt and confused. She doesn't sound nuts. Just a woman trying to make sense of her fiancé's previous relationship and where he and his family stand with former relationship. You. Because ex-mother-in-law is filling her head with BS. I would let her know that almost everything ex-mother-in-law told her is a lie. Ensure her that your relationship with your ex is completely over, and you have no plans to reconcile. You don't have to mention your current relationship. Say ex-mother-in-law doesn't appear to be over your former relationship with ex, and that this has nothing to do with her, but is ex-mother-in-law's baggage. Be honest, and let her know you haven't been in contact with ex's family since the two of you ended your relationship. Mention that you prefer it that way, and you would like to remain no contact with them. Not that jerk says, "This is an easy one. Hi, thanks for reaching out. I'm sorry you're experiencing difficulties with mother-in-law's name, but I've not seen or spoken to anyone in the family since I separated from fiance's name 3 years ago. Please rest assured that any form of communication she expresses has happened between us is a total fabrication. Take care. No drama, no invitation to discuss drama. Simple truth and a see you later is all that's needed. Update. I wanted to clear up a couple of things. First, future daughter-in-law is not the acquaintance my ex cheated on me with. I did not know who she was until yesterday. Second, a little background on the cheating. My ex kept an affair going with one of my friends for around 5 months. I had a feeling he was going behind my back, and confirmed my suspicion when I went through his phone one night. He broke down, cried, begged for therapy, and begged me not to tell his mother and sister. I moved out of the condo we had just purchased, and sat mother-in-law and sister down the next day. I told them everything, and that I couldn't stay with him. They were both extremely upset, but understanding, and supported my decision to leave. After I moved out and said my final goodbyes, I changed my phone number. I thought about what you all said, and this morning I sent my ex's fiance this message. Hi, future daughter-in-law. Thank you so much for the information. I just wanted to let you know that I have not seen or spoken to ex-fiance or mother-in-law in 3 years. I'm very sorry that you're going through this. I wish you and ex all the best. Please take care. Future daughter-in-law sent me back a short message thanking me for the reply and confirmation. I was impressed with the reply, because I was half expecting her to get into the drama further, and I'm very glad she didn't. Tonight, I was helping my mom prep for her big Thanksgiving, we're Canadian, dinner tomorrow, and my work cell rang. I'm an AVP at a tech company, and once a month the world will end on a weekend, so I always answer this phone. Me. Good evening, OP speaking. Ex-future sister-in-law. It's sister-in-law. Yeah, I know. Basically, she called to say that the family was celebrating Thanksgiving today, and future daughter-in-law had an absolute meltdown. Apparently, she was in the kitchen with mother-in-law, and mother-in-law made a comment about how amazing my Thanksgiving sweet potato recipe was. I don't have a Thanksgiving sweet potato recipe, and I ducking hate sweet potatoes. Future daughter-in-law lost it and cracked, screaming about all the BS mother-in-law's been putting her through for the past few months. While future daughter-in-law was yelling, mother-in-law said to my ex, in front of everyone, ex-future daughter-in-law would have never pulled something like this at a family event. Why did you have to duck things up with her so bad? Ex-future sister-in-law said my ex turned bright red and immediately left with his fiance. It sounded like everyone is still processing everything, and ex-future sister-in-law had no idea any of this was going on. A part of me really wants more details, but I know that I need to step away from this all. Ex-future sister-in-law said she confronted mother-in-law and asked if any of this was true. Mother-in-law said future daughter-in-law had to be making all of this up, and she had no idea how future daughter-in-law could have crafted all this up. Ex-future sister-in-law apologized for the drama and said something is obviously going on with her mother. She asked if I wanted to go for wine, and I politely turned her down. She understood. So, when my husband and I were choosing our wedding rings, his mother offered us some wedding jewelry from his late grandparents. The idea was to take them to a jeweler she deals with, melt down the gold, and have his wedding band crafted to our specifications. I thought at the time it was a nice gesture, a way to include his great-grandparents in on the day, and possibly a touch of luck because his paternal grandparents had a very long and happy marriage. He and I met with the jeweler. I drew up a design, and we were very happy with how it turned out. My husband loved that his band was unique and not some generic ring from Jared's or Zales. Let me reiterate that I designed his ring myself. He had some input regarding how wide the band would be and the size to ensure comfort. Other than that, the design was my brainchild. This wasn't something I pulled from Pinterest. Mother-in-law picked the ring up for us, as the jeweler was in her hometown, along with the gold that was left over. She asked us if we wanted it, and dear husband told her to save it for us so we could make something later for a future anniversary or something. In the hustle and bustle of the wedding and life in general, we forgot about it. Months after the fact, she tells us that she planned to have a piece of jewelry for herself crafted from the leftover gold. We didn't get mad because apparently it wasn't a whole lot left. We never asked her what she planned to have made, and I hadn't seen her with anything out of the ordinary. The in-laws were visiting, and mother-in-law was helping me hang an art piece one of dear husband's friends had sent us, when I looked at her pinky and saw something that was extremely familiar. I frowned and asked her where she had gotten that ring, because it looked very similar to dear husband's wedding band. She brightly tells me that she went back to the jeweler and had a replica made for herself from the leftover gold. I almost dropped the painting. I just stared at her and replied, "You took my husband's one-of-a-kind wedding band design that I did just for him and had a replica for yourself made?" My incredulity was clearly lost on her. The jeweler still had my original drawing of the design in our file at his shop, which was how she was able to copy it. To add insult to injury, she tried to engrave our, a variation of romantic and sentimental, and also very famous, literary phrase on the inside, but her version of the ring was too tiny. To give a clue here, Snape says it. I sat the painting down and locked myself in our bedroom where I cried for an hour. I had been so proud of that design and really wanted it to be special, and now it's been ruined. It feels like such a personal invasion. How ducking creepy is it that you're copying your son's wedding ring design? The crazy thing is, it never even occurred to her that it might be gross to do something like that. She was absolutely baffled as to why I was so upset. I couldn't even look at her, I was so angry and hurt. When I told dear husband, he looked like he wanted to hurl. He didn't completely flip out on her, but he told her in no uncertain terms that she was to take the ring back to the jeweler and have a different design made. His ring was supposed to be for him, and him only, not for her to get a copy made so they could be twinsies. She thought it was a special and sentimental way for them to be connected, like two best friends sharing a friendship bracelet. He yells, "You're my mother. How much more of a connection do you need?" Even father-in-law had a what the duck moment at her and said, "OP designed that ring for dear husband, not for the two of you." Seriously, this woman has well over $1 million worth of jewelry father-in-law inherited from his mother. She could have had anything made that would be sentimental and representative of her as a mother. She could have had one of those tacky rings made with the mother's birthstone and the kids' birthstones in it with the gold. Copying the design of your son's wedding band is beyond next level weird, and just one more way of her to insert herself into our marriage. Ugh, just gross. Am I overreacting here? Well, I definitely don't think OP is overreacting. Overreacting would have been snatching it off her hands and flushing it, and breaking her finger in the process. I think OP should talk to the jeweler for using her design on another client, but I wouldn't be surprised if she lied to him about who the ring was for. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Lonnie Lee 3 says, "No, you are not overreacting, nor was your dear husband, nor your father-in-law, and you should also have a little chat with that jeweler. He should have known better and warned you." Dragon Tooth Garden says, "OP, have you contacted the jeweler who is profiting off of your design? I'm not sure what arrangement you came to with jeweler, but unless you agreed otherwise, why the duck did he keep your design and make and sell and profit off said design if you are the artist? If you sign nothing giving him the rights to your design, write a formal demand letter for the original and all copies of the rendering, blah blah blah, etc." Update. So, dear husband has sort of backpedaled on the whole ring thing. He confronted her privately on the issue, and she explained that apparently the jeweler was the one who made the decision on the design. She had asked for something simple and cute, and he just used my design. Dear husband asked why would he do that, and what did she tell him the ring was for? She had told him that she was just making an extra ring. So some of you guys were right. The jeweler was under the impression the ring was for me. She never clarified until after the ring was made, and then she figured, oh well. What bothers me is that nobody in this equation, save father-in-law, seems to think this is in any way ducked up. I get that dear husband is straddling the line of not wanting to piss me off, nor upset his mother, but ducking hell, this is gross. Whether she melts the ring down again, which I doubt she will, I've decided that I'm going to take his ring and have it redesigned. I don't know when I'll be able to do it, but I've told him that it will happen. I refuse to have his special ring be tainted with her twinsies one. This is just beyond the realm of normalcy, even within my own ducked-up Just No family. None of my family members would ever dream of this being kosher. I started seeing my boyfriend 5 years ago, soon after I moved out of my mom's house. It took about a year before I introduced them, and as soon as I did, my mom made her disapproval obvious. She suggested he wasn't good enough for me because of his job title, income, education level, etc. She said he was weird, and that I should be with someone normal to make me more normal. She said she wasted her money putting me through college because I didn't meet my future husband there like she did. Gradually, she laid off all the negative comments and seemed to accept him. I didn't think anything of it when I invited her out to our wedding, because I thought everyone invites their mom to their wedding. She was supposed to even walk me down the aisle, since Dad died a few years ago. Then yesterday, I was at my mom's house with no one else there. She said, "Make sure he has a nice suit so we can pretend you're marrying a successful man." Then she started laughing hysterically at her own joke. I said, "If you don't like who I'm actually marrying, don't come." Then her mood suddenly changed, and she yelled at me, "That's no way to talk to your mother." I ran out in tears, and then I thought a lot about how my mom has talked about my fiance. I realized that nothing she could say to me now would make me comfortable having her at the wedding. We would have to change a few plans last minute, but I would be much happier without her there at this point. I texted her and told her my decision was final, and she was not coming. My mom says I'm overreacting to a harmless joke, and that the whole family will be shocked by my decision, and she will be humiliated. She said if I didn't want her there, I should have told her from the start, and that there's no way I was changing my mind over that one joke. Am I overreacting by making such a drastic decision at the last minute? Is this too harsh to my mom? Not for comment Inogu says, "Do not let this woman come to your wedding, because she will crap on him during the day. Change the time, date, venue, and don't tell her. Hire bouncers, whatever it takes. This was not a harmless joke. That was her not supporting your marriage, so she's out, not the a-hole." Bananas Foster Kid says, "Not the a-hole. To prevent stress for yourself and prevent your husband from being a future subscriber to the Just No Mother-in-Law sub, uninviting her would not be an a-hole thing to do. Since she was due to walk you down the aisle, you could walk halfway by yourself, have your husband meet you there, and then the two of you walk the rest of the way together. Mazel tov on your wedding." Trespassing W says, "Not the a-hole. Every joke is just a partially joke. Your mom definitely does not respect your choice and your decision. Since she is prone to humiliate people, it's a wise choice to get her out of your wedding."